Have you ever stepped outside expecting a delivery and instead found a full-blown block party taking over your property? That was my Saturday. There was a bouncy castle where my delivery truck should have been, a DJ hauling massive speakers next to my building, and kids darting between the loading zone and a live electrical box. And presiding over it all like she was queen of a suburban festival was Brenda Mallory, president of the local HOA and professional buzzkill. She even had the audacity to wave at me like I was intruding on her kingdom. Here's the thing. I never agreed to host their event. Not one word of approval. Yet, they're at Wasami privately owned commercial parking lot completely hijacked for the HOA's annual block party. The only notification I received was a flyer shoved under my windshield wiper. It read, in all its Comic Sans glory, "Thanks again for letting us use your space this weekend." It wasn't a thank you. It was a taunt. I own a tech repair shop. The building and the lot it's on? Paid off, fully zoned commercial, and clearly marked as private. The lot isn't a public park or an overflow space for HOA games. At first, I didn't mind when neighbors occasionally parked for a quick school pickup, or when teens practiced skateboard tricks in the corner. That changed the day Brenda started treating my property like her personal event space. Brenda has the kind of energy that could power a homeowner's meeting off disapproval alone. She once accused me of hoarding parking spaces because I painted diagonal lines to manage traffic flow. She told me in all seriousness that I should consider donating the space to the community. This party was the last straw. By noon, tents were going up, grills were puffing smoke next to my HVAC intake, and folding tables were crowding walkways. A shirtless guy was tuning a karaoke machine, and some kid nearly fried himself trying to charge his iPad at an outdoor socket. I stood there clutching my now useless coffee cup, stunned. And then Brenda approached, smiling like a mother greeting a reluctant volunteer. "Oh good, you're here," she chirped. "You're just in time to help us move the beverage coolers." I blinked. "Brenda, this is private property. I never agreed to this." She patted me on the arm like I was a nervous intern. "Oh, stop it. You're always so uptight. It's just for today. Think of it as community building." "No. It's trespassing. And it's illegal." She waved it off like I'd commented on the weather. "Please, don't be dramatic. No one's getting hurt." At that exact moment, a dog darted past dragging a leash, narrowly missing a speaker wire, and a soccer ball smacked into my office window. Brenda ignored it. "You didn't even ask," I repeated. "We put flyers out. That counts. Besides, Councilman Reeves is coming. You wouldn't want to ruin that, would you?" I looked past her. A plastic banner hung between two lamp posts, "Welcome Councilman Reeves. Parking reserved." The sign was directly over my handicap-accessible loading zone. Underneath it, a shiny black Mercedes that definitely wasn't mine. My "violators will be towed" sign stared back like it was challenging me to make a move. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I walked back into my building, locked the door, and sat at my desk. I opened the desktop folder labeled "In case Brenda goes full Karen." Inside were archived security camera files, property maps, insurance documents, and a PDF of my deed. I picked up the phone and called Rico, a friend who ran a towing company and still owed me a favor after I recovered data from his hard drive. "How many trucks you got running today?" "4. "Why?" "You'll need all of them. I want every car off my lot in 30 minutes. "Brenda again?" "And a politician." He let out a long whistle. "Got it. I'm bringing popcorn." I switched my camera feed to HD and waited. Outside, Brenda was still acting like the cruise director of a ship she didn't own. Streamers went up. Teenagers danced in the aisles. A dad fired up a second grill. Then the tow trucks arrived. The first one had 2 sedans lifted before anyone noticed. Someone screamed. A man in a Hawaiian shirt tried to block Rico's crew from lifting his SUV but backed off when a uniformed officer stepped in. I had called the police earlier, just in case Brenda pulled her usual "I know my rights" performance. Brenda banged on my window. "You can't do this." "Oh, but I could." And I did. Councilman Reeves arrived too late. His Mercedes was already en route to the impound lot. His big speech? Never delivered. Instead, he was filmed yelling at a tow truck driver. The footage hit Reddit within an hour. HOA Karen throws illegal block party. Gets wrecked by lot owner. I sipped a fresh coffee and watched the live feed like it was primetime TV. But I knew Brenda wouldn't go quietly. After the last car was towed, Brenda stood in the empty lot like a dethroned monarch surveying the ruins. I began documenting everything. High-res photos of the mess, kids near the electrical boxes, ash marks from grills, and a copy of the flyer. I called Jared, my real estate attorney. She messed up, he said after reviewing the files. Big time. He listed off the potential claims: trespassing, liability exposure, zoning violations, insurance voiding due to unauthorized third-party use. If someone had gotten hurt, I could have been sued, not Brenda. Me. Rico called later, positively gleeful. We towed 23 cars in 26 minutes. I sent an invoice to the HOA and CC'd the councilman's office. I checked the HOA's Facebook page. Chaos. People were furious. Some didn't even know there was a party until their cars vanished. A bounce house replaced a guy's Camry. Another missed a dental appointment. Brenda returned that evening with cookies and a tight smile. I think things got a little out of hand, she began. We can move past this, right? No. We're just getting started. I handed her a manila envelope, cease and desist, reimbursement demand for towing fees, and legal notice drafted by Jared. Her face drained of color. This isn't necessary, she snapped. It is. You voided my insurance and risked lives. You're lucky no one got hurt. The next day, city inspectors arrived in response to an anonymous tip. They documented everything. One muttered, she's not going to like this fine. Brenda tried to spin it. She went on the HOA message board insisting she acted for the community. But residents weren't buying it. Councilman Reeves filed a formal complaint. The emergency HOA meeting was live-streamed. Brenda insisted I wasn't one of them because I owned a business. But Matt, a quiet board member, pointed out that my company managed the HOA's security systems. They'd been cutting me checks for years. Cue collective gasps. I watched with chips in hand. Residents started inviting me to their barbecues. Brenda, however, sent me a cease and desist of her own, a joke filled with screenshots from Facebook and wild claims. Jared laughed so hard he cried. We drafted a response so ironclad it could double as a safe door. Jared included everything: defamation, property misuse, and interference with business. We even referenced missed package deliveries. The story hit the local paper. The photo? Brenda pointing at a tow truck while confused kids held balloons. The HOA called for a vote. Brenda tried to delay it. Failed. A petition to remove her hit 2,000 signatures. She was suspended pending investigation. Then I played my final card. While she scrambled, I filed for a zoning reclassification, restricted access corridor. The HOA would be notified that my lot was now fully off limits without a city permit and my written consent. I sent Brenda a final invoice, $83,760.73. Itemized. When the notice hit, my phone blew up. Some were angry. One old guy named Harold thanked me. I hated those parties for years, he said. Can I join the board? I'll bring donuts. Brenda, meanwhile, spiraled. She deleted posts, banned residents, accused outsiders of sabotage. She posted a 2,000-word rant on Nextdoor. Flagged. Removed. At the next HOA meeting, a resident asked, "Did you ever get written permission to use the lot?" Brenda stammered. Matt confirmed, "It's restricted now." And her actions nearly voided our insurance. Lisa, a new resident, asked, "Did the HOA use our funds to pay for that inflatable castle?" Game. Set. Match. The board suspended Brenda. She was escorted out. Her husband called the next day to apologize. She didn't speak for me, he said. The new board invited me to co-sponsor their next event. I agreed on one condition, a dunk tank, with Brenda's name on it. They laughed. Rico stopped by later with a check. One of the towed cars had belonged to a guy who owed him money. "You're marketing gold," he said. The lot was peaceful again. No DJs, no banners. Just painted lines and quiet. Then came one last letter from Brenda. A formal complaint to the city about my zoning reclassification. Claimed I created a hostile environment. The city dismissed it in an hour. So I put up a new sign, private property. No HOA access. No exceptions. Yes, Brenda, this means you. Then I commissioned a mural. A peaceful street scene. Neighbors waving. Respecting boundaries. Kids loved it. Adults took selfies. The HOA asked to rent the lot for a real community fair. I said yes with full permits, insurance, and co-management. Brenda was invited to join. She refused. The fair was a hit. Food trucks, music, even goats. Rico parked a truck with a sign, "In case of emergency or Brenda." Later, a little girl pointed at the mural. "She looks like my mom when she gets mad." I nearly cried laughing. A week later, a check arrived. No note, no name, just the full $83,760.73. Brenda moved out 3 weeks later. I bought a new lot across town. Bigger, better. Maybe someday it'll have its own mural. But this one's done.